Modern leadership lives under a microscope. Slack threads. Public reviews. Remote teams spread across time zones. One bad decision can echo for months. Some leaders respond with pressure. Threats. Micromanagement. They try to control every move and call it standards. Others swing the opposite way. They want everyone to like them. They avoid hard conversations. They keep the peace but lose the mission. Both approaches fail for the same reason. They don't inspire loyalty. Fear can move people once. Friendliness without backbone can keep things pleasant. Neither builds the trust you need when the seas get rough. Over 2,000 years ago, Confucius described a different way to lead. Not through intimidation or charm, through virtue. Lead so steadily that people choose to align with you. He said, "He who exercises government by means of his virtue may be compared to the North Polar Star, which keeps its place and all the stars turn towards it." The North Star doesn't bark orders. It holds position. Everything else takes its bearings. Today we're going to make that practical. 10 Confucian rules for leading without fear. At work. In your community. In your family. In the places where your example becomes everyone's weather. Principle 1. Lead yourself before you lead others. To govern others, first govern yourself. Confucius starts leadership where most people end it, with the mirror. If your private discipline is weak, your public leadership will be weaker still. You can inspire people with speeches, motivate them with rewards, or threaten them with consequences, but nothing speaks louder than the way you run your own life. A leader's habits become the organization's culture. If you can't master your impulses, your team will spend more time managing you than doing their work. If your values shift with the wind, your followers won't know where to stand. And here's the uncomfortable truth. People don't copy what you say, they copy what you do. Work example. Minutes before a high-stakes client call, you spot an error in the deck. An untrained leader reacts instinctively, "Who messed this up?" The room tenses. People hide, not help. The Confucian leader does something else. They take a breath. This number's off. Let's fix it now. After the call, we'll map how it slipped. No blame storm. No performance collapse. The problem is solved and the culture of accountability is strengthened. Strategic example. You're offered a partnership that promises fast growth, but the other party has a history of cutting corners. If you haven't done the work of clarifying your non-negotiables, temptation will win, and your team will learn that ethics are flexible. If you have done that inner work, the answer is easy. No, we don't trade trust for speed. That single act sets the standard for years to come. Family example. You tell your teenagers not to bring phones to the table, but you check emails between bites. The rule you've just set isn't "no phones," it's "rules are for you, not for me." Self-governance means living the same discipline you expect from others, even in the smallest things. How to apply? 1. Audit your conduct. List the 3 behaviors you demand most from others. Score yourself honestly on each. If you're weak in one, fix it before you correct someone else. 2. Keep visible promises. Show up when you say. Deliver when you say. Let your reliability be boringly predictable. 3. Predecide your principles. Write down the values you won't trade, even for profit, convenience, or applause. Decisions made in calm prevent disasters made in haste. Lead yourself well, and people will trust you to lead them anywhere. Fail here, and your leadership will collapse quietly, not in the boardroom, but in the minds of those you hope to inspire. Principle 2. Set the wind. Culture follows the leader. The virtue of the gentleman is like the wind, the virtue of the small man is like the grass. When the wind passes over it, the grass must bend. Confucius didn't just talk about leadership as giving orders, he spoke of it as setting the climate. The leader is the wind. Everyone else is the grass. Grass doesn't choose how to bend, it responds to whatever passes over it. Your actions, tone, and presence form the weather people work in every day. If you're unpredictable, the team will hunker down and play safe. If you're gloomy, energy will sink. If you're steady, they'll relax into productive flow. Leaders often underestimate this. They think culture comes from mission statements, value posters, or HR initiatives. It doesn't. It comes from how you behave when it matters most. Work example. During a daily stand-up, two team members start sniping at each other over missed dependencies. An inexperienced leader picks a side, thinking it will end the dispute. Instead, the tension deepens. Half the team now feels unheard. The Confucian leader acts differently. They slow the pace. They restate the shared goal: our aim is to ship on time without sacrificing quality. They break the next steps into small, unambiguous actions. The tone shifts from personal blame to joint progress. The wind changed, and the grass followed. Family example. At a gathering, relatives start to drift into gossip about someone who isn't there. You don't wag a finger or give a lecture, that would just make them defensive. Instead, you redirect by asking about their kids' milestones, upcoming plans, or a recent trip. Before long, the conversation is about achievements, not scandals. You didn't scold, you changed the weather. Community example. You join a volunteer group that's always late to start and vague about responsibilities. Instead of sending emails about the importance of punctuality, you arrive early, arrange the workspace, greet people warmly, and outline the plan clearly. You thank specific people for their specific contributions. Within a month, lateness drops, without you ever issuing a single warning. How to apply? 1. Decide your weather before you enter. Before walking into a room, decide the energy you want to set: calm, firm, optimistic, curious. Don't wait to feel it, lead with it. 2. Return to the purpose. When heat rises, anchor the group back to the shared aim. It's hard to keep fighting when everyone is facing the same direction. 3. Model public praise and private correction. Celebrate wins where all can hear. Correct missteps where only one can. This teaches the entire group what your win feels like. Culture isn't what you post on the wall. It's the shadow your actions cast. If you set the wind with consistency and virtue, the grass will always bend in the right direction. Principle 3. Trust is your currency. If a man have not trust, we do not know what he can do. For Confucius, trust wasn't a nice to have, it was the foundation without which leadership collapses. A leader without trust is like a merchant without credit. They may still trade, but only in small, slow, suspicious exchanges. When trust is absent, people will give you compliance, not commitment. They'll do the minimum necessary to protect themselves. They'll stop offering ideas, because ideas involve risk, and risk requires safety. Trust grows when your words and actions match, not only when it's convenient, but especially when it costs you something. The real test of trustworthiness isn't how you behave on a good day, but how you behave under pressure. Work example. You've promised your team that Fridays will be meeting-free so they can focus on deep work. Then a crisis lands, a client wants answers by Monday. The easy move: break your word. The Confucian move: keep it. You either reschedule the meeting to earlier in the week, or you keep it short, optional, and respectful of the original agreement. Your team sees that yes from you means yes, not yes until something shinier comes along. Strategic example. You sign a fixed-price contract for a project, and halfway through you realize you've underestimated the hours. You could quietly cut corners to protect your profit. Instead, you honor the agreement, take the hit, and deliver fully. The short-term loss becomes a long-term gain. The client now recommends you without hesitation. Family example. You tell your teenager you'll hear their full explanation before deciding on any consequences. Later, they test your patience with a frustrating, meandering story. You keep the process intact anyway. They may not like your decision, but they'll respect that the rules don't change based on your mood. Online example. You post an opinion and later discover you were wrong. You correct yourself publicly before anyone calls you out. Paradoxically, this raises your credibility. People see you as honest, not infallible. How to apply? 1. Make fewer promises, keep all of them. Every kept promise is a brick in the foundation of trust. Every broken one is a crack. 2. Admit misses immediately. Don't wait for someone to discover your slip. Transparency builds faster than spin repairs. 3. Align rewards with values. Don't celebrate results achieved by cutting corners, it teaches the wrong lesson. Where trust is high, leadership can be light touch. Where trust is low, leaders must smother with rules, checks, and fear always costs more than trust. Principle 4. Practice Ren, humaneness as a leadership tool. The benevolent man is concerned about others. Confucius's concept of Ren is often translated as humaneness, benevolence, or compassion. But in leadership, Ren is not a sentimental kindness that lowers standards, it's disciplined compassion. It treats people as people, not just as roles or resources, while still holding the line on performance. It's the skill of addressing the problem without diminishing the person. Fear can push people to work harder, for a while. But fear also breeds shortcuts, hides mistakes, and poisons culture. Ren creates loyalty, resilience, and the desire to give more, not because people are forced to, but because they want to. Work example. An engineer misses a critical deliverable. The fear-driven leader jumps to threats, if you miss this again, you're out. The humane leader starts with curiosity. What blockers are in your way? 2 emerge, one technical, one bureaucratic. The leader removes both, resets the plan, and still holds the date. The message is clear, your dignity is intact, but the commitment stands. Output rises, not because standards were lowered, but because trust and problem-solving replaced fear. Strategic example. A sales rep underperforms 2 quarters in a row. The numbers have to improve, that's non-negotiable. Instead of humiliation in front of the team, the leader meets privately. I see the results, and I see your effort. Let's diagnose what's not working and build a plan together. Ren demands both honesty and investment in the person's success. The result, a performance turnaround without the cultural collateral damage of public shaming. Family example. Your partner snaps after a long day. You pause and read the moment. This is exhaustion, not malice. You set a respectful boundary. I'm happy to talk, but not like this, while also offering a solution. Let's eat first, then discuss. Firmness and kindness in the same breath. Public example. A server brings the wrong dish. You correct the order without theatrics, tip fairly, and leave the interaction calm. The children at your table learn that standards can be maintained without treating people as disposable. How to apply? 1. Assume a reasonable cause first. Fear, confusion, overload, check before you judge. 9 times out of 10, the issue is circumstantial, not personal. 2. Protect dignity while you correct. Separate the person from the problem. Correct the action, not the identity. 3. Fix the system, not just the symptom. If the same issue keeps appearing, remove the blockers so people can win without you hovering. Ren breaks the cycle of attack and counterattack. It turns resistance into cooperation, not by lowering the bar, but by raising the floor beneath people's feet. Principle 5. Correct without humiliating. Guide them by virtue, keep them in line with the rights, and they will reform themselves. He understood something many modern leaders forget. Humiliation might create quick compliance, but it kills long-term growth. Public shaming drives problems underground. People hide mistakes, filter what they tell you, and operate in self-protection mode, exactly the opposite of the transparency a leader needs. Correction done with respect, in private, creates teachable moments. It tells people, I expect better, and I believe you can deliver it. The standard stays high, but the person's dignity stays intact. Work example. A sales rep misses their quarterly target by a wide margin. The fear leader calls them out in the next team meeting. Some of you are really letting the side down. Everyone knows who they mean. The rep shuts down. The Confucian leader takes another route, a private one. They sit down together. Let's look at your pipeline. Is the issue volume, quality, or conversion? They identify weak prospecting habits. The leader sets one training block for the week and one measurable action to report back on. The rep's confidence grows, performance improves, and no one had to be sacrificed to make a point. Family example. Your child lies about doing their homework. The easy label is liar. Instead, you address the behavior. I saw the homework sheet, it wasn't done. Tell me what happened. The child admits they were stuck on the first question and gave up. You install a simple check-in routine. You sit together for the first 10 minutes of homework each day. The problem was capability, not character. Online example. A junior teammate accidentally posts the wrong content to the company's social media account. You correct the record publicly in neutral language, no finger pointing. Then you coach them privately, explain the process, the stakes, and the prevention steps. Externally, the brand remains professional. Internally, the teammate learns without fearing the axe. How to apply? 1. Choose privacy for correction. Pull someone aside rather than calling them out. Respect in these moments is remembered far longer than the mistake. 2. Describe, don't diagnose. State the observable facts. The report was 2 days late, not assumed motives. You don't care about deadlines. 3. End with a path forward. 1 specific change, 1 clear deadline, 1 agreed follow-up. Vague advice doesn't build change, structure does. Fear silences people. Respect makes them teachable. If you want a team that tells you the truth, even when it's hard, correct without humiliating. Principle 6. Reward character, not just results. Confucius warned, if the people are led only by laws and punishments, they will try to avoid punishment, but have no sense of shame. He understood that rules and targets alone shape shallow behavior. People will meet the letter of your standard while quietly breaking its spirit. When leaders celebrate only the numbers, they teach everyone that how you win doesn't matter, only that you win. The danger is that over time, shortcuts, selfishness, and quiet sabotage get the same applause as integrity, collaboration, and care. The Confucian leader shifts the focus, reward the path as much as the outcome. Praise the behaviors that build sustainable excellence, even if they're harder to measure on a spreadsheet. Work example. 2 sales reps closed the quarter over quota. One did it by poaching a colleague's lead, rushing the contract, and creating headaches for the support team. The other collaborated with 2 departments, negotiated a complex multi-party deal, and ensured a smooth handover to implementation. If you celebrate both equally at the all-hands meeting, you quietly endorse the poacher's methods. The Confucian move. Highlight the collaborator. This deal shows the best of us, cross-team cooperation, persistence, and customer care. The room learns that the real prize is earned not just by numbers, but by how those numbers were achieved. School or club example. A student wins a competition but gloats, undermining their peers. Another places second but shows grace, helps pack up the event, and thanks the volunteers. You choose to tell the second story twice, in the school newsletter and at the next assembly. Over time, kids see that character earns just as much recognition as a trophy, and the culture shifts towards sportsmanship. Community example. A volunteer logs huge hours for a month, takes on every task, and burns out, disappearing for the rest of the year. Another keeps a steady pace, delivers reliably for 12 months, and encourages new members to step up. You design your systems around the second model: sustainable commitment, shared workload, and healthy balance. This teaches the group that consistency and care for the mission are just as valued as heroic bursts of effort. How to apply? 1. Name the behavior you're rewarding. Don't just say, "Great job." Say, "This was great because it showed cross-team cooperation," or "Your preparation prevented 3 potential issues." 2. Design incentives that match values. If teamwork is prized, build part of the bonus or recognition into team outcomes, not just individual metrics. 3. Publicly retire bad wins. If a result was achieved through damaging means, say so, and explain why you won't reward it again. People repeat what gets rewarded. If you want a culture of integrity, resilience, and shared purpose, make sure your applause, not just your targets, teaches everyone what good truly means. Principle 7. Teach and lift, leadership as multiplication. In teaching, there should be no distinction of classes. He believed wisdom should not be locked away for the privileged few. True leadership is not about being the smartest person in the room, it's about creating a room full of capable people. Fear leaders hoard information to maintain control, making themselves the bottleneck. They keep others dependent so they can stay essential. Confucian leaders do the opposite. They distribute knowledge freely, lift others into competence, and see succession as the ultimate compliment. When the people around you grow, your influence multiplies far beyond what you could achieve alone. Work example. You've been the go-to person for every big client escalation. It feels good to be the fixer, but it also means you're on call 24/7 and the team freezes when you're away. The Confucian move. You document your process for handling escalations, the questions you ask, the checklists you use, the decisions you make at each stage. You train 2 team members to run point on these issues, starting with small cases and gradually building their scope. When mistakes happen, and they will, you debrief calmly, extract the lesson, and let them try again. 6 months later, the team can handle 80% of escalations without you. You're no longer the bottleneck, and the company is stronger for it. Family example. Your child asks for help budgeting their allowance. Instead of giving them the answer, you show them how to split money into savings, spending, and giving jars. When they overspend 1 week, you resist the urge to bail them out. Instead, you talk through what they'd do differently next time. The same goes for other skills, apologizing sincerely, cooking a basic meal, planning their own school projects. You're not just fixing problems in the moment, you're raising a future adult who can solve their own. Community example. You lead a volunteer group. Every year, the big fundraising event falls entirely on your shoulders. You're exhausted, but you tell yourself, it's just easier if I do it. Instead, you recruit a small organizing committee, give each person a clear area of responsibility, and walk them through the process you've used for years. By the next year, they're confident enough to run the event without you. Instead of feeling replaced, you take pride. You've built a leadership pipeline, not just completed another event. How to apply? 1. Teach the why, not just the what. A person who understands the principle behind a process can adapt it to new situations without asking you for permission. 2. Delegate for growth, not just relief. Don't hand off only the grunt work you dislike. Give people meaningful challenges that stretch their abilities. 3. Share credit by default. When someone you've trained succeeds, say so publicly. Visibility accelerates growth and loyalty. 4. Make succession a measure of success. If you step away and everything falls apart, you weren't leading, you were babysitting. When you make others capable, you make the mission durable. Confucius knew that the leader who teaches well leads twice, once through their own work, and once through the multiplied work of those they've lifted. Principle 8. Stay close to the front lines. When the ruler loves what the people love and hates what they hate, he is near to them. Leadership loses its footing the moment it loses touch. When you stop seeing what your people see, you begin leading an imagined version of reality, and making decisions for a world that doesn't exist. Confucius warns against this drift. His prescription is simple: stay close enough to feel the impact of your own decisions. Love what your people love, share their frustrations, and walk their ground. Proximity is not a photo opportunity, it's a safeguard against arrogance and blind spots. Work example. You manage a customer service team. Your reports tell you call handling times are fine, but complaints about wait times are up. Instead of accepting the numbers, you work the phones for a morning. You find the scripts are clunky, the handoff process between tiers is slow, and the new software update adds 3 clicks to every action. Because you saw the friction firsthand, you can fix the right problem, and your credibility skyrockets because you were there in the trenches. Family example. Your teenager complains about school rules being unfair. You could dismiss it as teenage drama, or you could shadow a day in their life. You ride with them to school, walk their timetable, listen to how teachers enforce rules, watch how students navigate them. You don't have to agree with every complaint, but your rules at home become wiser and fairer because they're grounded in their reality, not your assumptions. Community example. You sit on the board of a community shelter. You attend the annual gala, you sign off budgets, you read reports. But one Friday night, you volunteer for the late shift. You see the overcrowding, the strain on staff, the little kindnesses that keep people going. When the next funding decision comes up, you fight for a budget line that covers extra overnight staff, not because it was in a report, but because you've stood in the gap yourself. How to apply? 1. Schedule proximity. Ride-alongs, shadowing, working a shift in the trenches. Don't wait for a crisis, make it part of your calendar. 2. Ask open questions. What's one thing slowing you down? If you had my role for a week, what's the first thing you'd change? 3. Close the loop. When you make a change based on what you've seen or heard, tell people. Show them their voice translated into action. 4. Resist insulation. The higher you rise, the more layers appear between you and the truth. Tear some of them down on purpose. Nearness creates trust, distance creates stories. If you want people to follow you willingly, they need to believe you see the world they live in, not from a balcony, but from the street. Principle 9. Be consistent, not rigid. When a ruler's personal conduct is correct, his government is effective without issuing orders. Consistency is leadership's quiet power. When people know what you stand for and how you will act, they can make decisions confidently without checking over their shoulder. Your steadiness frees them to focus on the mission. Rigidity, though, is a different creature. It confuses stubbornness with strength. A rigid leader clings to yesterday's method even when the ground has shifted. Instead of inspiring trust, they inspire workarounds, because the people under them have to bend reality to fit the leader's unyielding plan. Confucius teaches that leadership should be like a well-built ship, strong in its frame, your values, flexible in its sails, your methods. The sea changes, the destination remains. Work example. A product launch is planned for Friday. 2 days before, your team flags that a key feature has a bug that could frustrate early users. Your value, quality, doesn't change. But the method, the old deadline, is negotiable. You push the launch by a week, explain to the client and the team why, and stand by the decision. Instead of seeing delay as weakness, people see integrity in action. Trust rises because you stayed true to what matters most. Family example. Bedtime in your house is firm, lights out by 9 p.m. tonight, though your child has been at a school play that ran late. They're excited and tired in equal measure. You keep the value, rest, but you adapt the method. No homework tonight, a slower morning tomorrow, back to the routine the next day. The flexibility shows them rules exist for their benefit, not for blind obedience. Online example. You've promised your followers a weekly industry update every Monday. 1 week, a family emergency throws you off. Instead of posting filler or pretending nothing happened, you skip the post, then deliver the next one on time with an extra piece of valuable insight. Your audience learns you're reliable, not robotic, committed to quality over hollow consistency theater. How to apply? 1. Define your non-negotiables. Safety, honesty, respect, transparency, write them down. If a decision risks these, it's a no. 2. Adapt tactics openly. When you change course, explain why. People respect flexibility when they can see the reasoning. 3. Audit your own consistency. Ask, do my actions line up with my stated values? Do I bend methods without bending principles? 4. Model calm change. If you panic when adjusting plans, your team will too. Show them that adaptability can be steady. Consistency is the comfort people work under. It tells them, you can trust me to hold the line where it matters, and to bend when it makes us better. It's not about always doing things the same way, it's about always standing for the same things. Principle 10, lead for the long term, renovate daily. If you can one day renovate yourself, do so from day to day. Yes, daily renovation. Great leadership is not a single grand gesture, it's the compounding of small, steady improvements over years. Fear-led leadership gets a burst of effort but burns through goodwill, trust, and sometimes people themselves. Virtue-led leadership thinks in decades, not just deadlines, and that means starting with your own renewal before asking it of others. The Confucian leader treats self-improvement as routine maintenance, not emergency repair. You don't wait until the culture is toxic or the numbers collapse to make changes, you strengthen the frame while the ship is sailing smoothly. Work example. Instead of relying on heroics, one-star employee putting in 80-hour weeks, you build systems that work for average, sustainable effort. You create clear documentation so processes don't live only in one person's head. You invest in career paths that retain talent instead of chewing through it. You refuse the boom and bust panic cycle, choosing a steady pace that the team can maintain for years. Quarter by quarter, confidence grows because people trust that the road ahead isn't a cliff edge. Family example. You hold yourself to the same standard of growth you ask from your children. When you lose your temper, you own it. That wasn't how I wanted to handle that. Let's try again. You make small adjustments to routines when they stop working, changing meal prep times, homework rhythms, or chore rotations. Your kids learn that change isn't a sign of failure, it's part of life's rhythm. Personal example. Every week, you take 30 minutes to ask 3 questions. Where did I lead with fear? Where did I lead with virtue? What one change will I test next week? By building this into your schedule, you grow in calm increments instead of in chaotic leaps. You never stop refining, and you don't wait for a crisis to get better. How to apply? 1. Install a growth cadence. Set a weekly review, a quarterly reset, and an annual vision check. Treat them as non-negotiable leadership habits. 2. Measure what compounds. Instead of only tracking quarterly profit, measure trust levels, skill breadth, decision quality, and team health. Those are the assets that make all future wins possible. 3. Teach the habit by modeling it. When people see you evaluating and improving yourself without external pressure, they learn to do the same. The legacy of a leader is not in today's applause, it's in what still works when you're not there. Renovation is not an event. It's a way of being. Leadership without fear is not theory, it's a daily practice you can start now. If these 10 rules helped you, who in your life is building teams or families that need this? Tag them in the comments, and share this video so they can carry Confucius wisdom into their own storms. If you want more ancient guidance you can use this week, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Next time, we'll keep building the kind of leadership that people trust, not because they're afraid, but because they believe.